All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today we're diving into a really provocative argument from the YouTube channel A Righteous Perspective, and it's all about what they see as a key turning point in American history.
So, right out of the gate, the source makes this really startling claim. The argument is that the civil rights movement, even though it was meant for good, actually ended up having some serious, unforeseen negative consequences for the Black community. I mean, wow. Okay, let's get into it.
So to really get where this argument is coming from, we have to go back in time. The video starts by painting this picture of a really vibrant, really prosperous Black America, back in the early 20th century.
The idea here is that this era was all about self-sufficiency, a strong sense of faith, and real economic success. And the video sets this up as a huge contrast to the picture it paints of the community today. And they don't just talk in generalities. The video points to some really specific examples to show what they believe was lost. We're talking about their own Wall Street in Tulsa, millionaires, doctors, even a Black-owned car company, and, of course, the incredible empire of Madam C.J. Walker. It also makes a point to say that, back then, 90% of Black people were in church. So if this was the reality, the big question the video poses is, what happened? When did it all change?
Well, according to this source, it all comes down to one single piece of legislation. They see it as the critical moment, the turning point that sent all of that progress into reverse. And this timeline here really lays out the whole argument in a nutshell. You can see the arc they're drawing. It starts with that era of prosperity in the early 1900s, then hits this crucial moment in 1964, and leads to what the video calls a state of cultural and family breakdown today. So what exactly happened in 1964, the Civil Rights Act? Now, the video's core argument is about a social safety net that came along with it. It claims this program gave financial support to women, but only on the condition that there was no husband in the house. And that, they argue, is what unintentionally created an incentive for fathers to leave the home. This is what they call the pinpoint moment, where everything started to shift. And according to the pastor in the video, this wasn't just a small change. He argues it fundamentally altered the very foundation of support within the community. The way the video frames it is, well, it's a direct trade-off. You see it here on the screen. On one side, you had a dependence on God, which they say created self-sufficiency and strong families. But on the other side, a new dependence on the government. The argument is that the government became the new provider, so in their words, women no longer needed to, quote, get on her knees when that check coming in, and men were no longer needed to raise the children. And to really drive the point home, the pastor makes this incredibly direct and powerful statement to sum up the consequences of this shift. He says, now Uncle Sam is many Black women's daddy. Okay, so the argument goes like this. This breakdown in the family then led to a much broader cultural decline. And the way they choose to illustrate this is really interesting. They use music. So check this out. They compare two songs from two totally different eras. Back then, you had the Intruders with a song called When We Get Married, all about commitment, building a life together. Then they contrast that with a modern rap song with lyrics like, smack it up, flip it up. And they use this comparison to argue that the very ideas of marriage and commitment have just been completely devalued over time. The speakers also bring up a pretty significant historical document. They point out that around that same time, the Moynihan Report was sounding the alarm, calling a 25% out-of-wedlock birth rate a national crisis. And what did it recommend? Investing federal money in Black men to help stabilize families. But, and this is a key part of their argument, they claim that civil rights leaders at the time actually opposed that idea and pushed for the social safety net instead. So after laying out the problem and what they see as its root cause, the video doesn't just leave it there. It wraps up by offering a very clear solution, but it's not a political one. It's spiritually focused. So what's the path back? Well, it's a 4-step plan. Step 1, return to God. Stop looking to the government or other idols. Step 2, restore the family, really encouraging strong marriages as the bedrock of the community. 3, take personal accountability. Understanding your choices have a lasting impact. And finally, step 4, live the word. Don't just read the Bible, but actually do what it says. And this whole idea of accountability brings everything full circle. The speakers really emphasize that people are going to be remembered for the legacy they leave behind, a legacy that's built on the choices they make right now. It connects right back to that opening idea of creating either blessings or curses for the next generation. And that's how they end it. They turn the question directly to the viewer. They ask, what are you going to do about it? It's a way of turning their whole analysis into a direct, personal call to action. And it's for sure a final, provocative thought that really leaves you thinking about everything they've presented.